So as you hear the sound of the bell die away, allow yourself to come to your beautiful mindfulness meditation seat. You arrive. We arrive into our bodies, into whatever position you are going to be in, whether it's lying or sitting, standing. And by the way, for those of you that have never heard me say this, any of those positions are acceptable. Whatever works for you is what is right. There is no right way or wrong way, and there's only your way. And some of us have challenges, physical challenges that we need to address, which is perfectly fine. So let's arrive in our seats. Just take notice of where you are, and you might want to close your eyes just to check in with yourself and adjust yourself, your feet planted firmly on the earth, the sit bones on the chair, the hands on the thighs, the shoulders relaxed, the back spine tall, not rigid but tall, front body soft, back of the neck gets longer, the tip of the nose might just drop slightly, and the crown of the head striving to the sky with your string attached to your star. And that's your mindfulness meditation position. So I want to start with a reading from Pema Chodron, and we talked about this last time with the train, and we began the process of understanding thinking, and I love the way she frames it. She says, "The nature of mind is to think. It's as natural for the mind to think as it is for the body to breathe and for the heart to pump blood through the veins. The motivation behind meditation is not to get rid of the thoughts, but to train the mind." I just love the way she says that. The motivation behind meditation is not to get rid of the thoughts, but to train the mind to reclaim its natural capacity to stay present. Mind can be placed on an object or on an experience, and it can stay there. So one of the things, the phrases that is very commonly used in mindfulness work, in any meditation work actually, is the monkey mind. That's a popular phrase that's used to describe the nature of the fleeting thinking, the way that the thoughts just seem to come and go and come and go and come and go, and new ones seem to arise, and they just keep coming. And we're not trained in how to deal with the onslaught, and particularly if we are in any kind of stress, any kind of anxiety, the thoughts are even more pronounced and they happen more rapidly. So our job, and hopefully we're going to do some of this morning, is to begin to train the mind. So as you take your position and as you close your eyes, the first instruction this morning is just bring your focus to your thoughts. Of course, the anchor that we always return to is the breath. If things feel overwhelmed and you're saying, what's going on here? I'm sort of scattered. Just return to your breath. That is our continual, stable anchor. We can also use sound. So bring your mind to your mind. What is happening right now as you arrive for practice? Just notice the things that are passing through. What are you thinking? And just focus, pull yourself back, return to the breath as you start to examine. And just notice, are you very wild this morning? Are the thoughts rapid? Are you relatively calm? Sort of peaceful? Do you feel challenged? Or is it pleasant? Or is it neutral today? It can be any condition, but we want to identify it and then notice, in the first part of practice, notice the thoughts and just observe what they are, perhaps label them. We're going to get more deeply into it as we move on. And just notice what they are, and then return to your breath. So, go ahead and practice. As you begin to practice, notice something else about the thoughts. Just let them be. Don't try to change them. Just allow your very own untamed thoughts to exist and observe them intentionally, just caring for yourself and noticing the monkeys jumping from one place to another. Or maybe you're just at peace, or maybe you're calm, or maybe there's just a few thoughts. And just return to the anchor of your breath. So as you practice noticing your thoughts, you might think about whether they're thoughts about the future. Generally, we're in the past or in the future. We're very rarely in the present. So see if you can become friendly with that idea as you examine where your mind goes, and just how gently and calmly you can label the thoughts and then bring yourself back, train yourself, train that mind that is pulling you in different directions, train it to come back to the breath. One breath at a time. And just allow yourself to sense that caring for yourself. Oh, that thought is in the future. That's in the past. I'm coming back to the present, in my body, in my breath. When we label the thoughts as thinking, we're actually training in developing an unbiased attitude. No judgment. We're just observing in a detached but kind way to our thoughts. We're really taking a deep dive into what happens in our own minds. So the next level of practice is a sort of in between. What kind of thoughts? Not the ones that take you off into fantasy land, far away rushing like Niagara Falls, pulling you down some story lane, endlessly moving you in some fantasy direction. Or maybe you're a few sentences in to a storyline, but you haven't gone for too long, and you wake up and you realize that you've gone. That's your mindfulness moment. That's what the power of mindfulness is. Oh, I'm not here in my body. I'm not paying attention to my breath. I'm not still. My mind has pulled me. I'm active. I'm somewhere else. And see how that is for you. That's a form of the monkey mind, is to go off into some fantasy, some movie, and then you might find that you're distracted by a sound, or it could be a memory, or a feeling, a deep feeling, a sadness, a joy. Maybe you're hungry right now. The object is to pay attention to what pulls you off you, pulls you away from being right here, right now, in your seat, in your body, simply breathing, sitting upright, and being present in the moment. And that you've lost your focus on your breath, but now you're back. So it takes practice to do this. Just do what you can. And remember, mindfulness is paying attention on purpose without judgment. Kindly, gently, just being detached. So go ahead and practice. as we become friendly to our minds and to understanding what our thinking is about, and for each of us it's completely different. We can think about this idea of aiming for stillness, the stillness in the body and the stillness in the mind. We may never achieve fully, but that's the idea behind mindfulness, is so that we're not out of our bodies, we're not out of our minds. You know how we say, I'm out of my mind? Well, that's where that expression comes from. The thinking has just pulled us so far from being present. So maybe play with this image that as we train the mind to be more quiet, to be more still, no matter what is going on, actually, you could think of yourself as the director of your own mind movie. And you have the power to tell your thoughts, your characters, those are your actors. You are the director. You can say, okay, I identify you. Okay, I know I have to go and pick up my prescription later at the pharmacy, but I don't need to think about it now. I can just be present to my breath and to my body and just notice that as my anchor. So practice this idea of being your own director. That's your mindfulness moment. When you notice, oh, I'm at the pharmacy. I'm not here. So take the next part of silent practice to continue to observe where your thoughts are. Are they present or future? How your body is in space, and how your breath is in terms of being in your anchor. Just continue to notice and to practice, but always, always in mindfulness meditation practice, the way that I like to teach it, with generosity and kindness to yourself. Whatever is going on in your mind is what it is. It's not good or bad. It just is. So take the next moments to see how that works for you, or whatever works for you. as we become more intimate with our thinking habits, habits of mind, we're able to understand that this is what going unconscious can sometimes be about. I'm doing something, and then suddenly I'm somewhere else, and I've lost being present to the moment. And it's this amazing trick that the mind can do. We can be in something. For example, maybe we're driving, and suddenly a whole mile has gone by, and we say, how did I get here? And that's the unconsciousness. We've lost contact with ourselves and what we're doing. It can sometimes be just for a few seconds. But those moments have disappeared. They're gone. So the wandering mind is what we're focusing on, but we're doing it without any judgment, just noticing what happens to our minds when we are not present in the moment, here, right now, in our bodies, knowing that we're in our bodies, sensing the body's stillness, and the breath coming in and out, and in and out. And so we're training, this is what we're training in our mindfulness, is to have full presence in a moment, in several moments, in maybe 3 minutes. And if you can do even 5 seconds during this next silent practice, you've achieved mindfulness. Mindfulness of your body, your mind. So go ahead and see what happens in the next silent practice, and see if you can even notice that you are not carried away by your thinking, even if it's just, like I said, for a few moments. So go ahead and enjoy your mind. as we come to the end of practice today, just notice, can you appreciate what you've just learned about your thinking, about your thoughts? Can you embrace what you find rather than judge it or criticize? And remember, today, wherever you go, just create peace for yourself. Choose to bring the moment that feels uncomfortable. Choose to change the thought and just say, oh, I can take one mindful breath and come back to myself. And remind yourself, today, I won't give myself a hard time. And then tonight, when you're preparing for sleep, you can say, today, I didn't give myself a hard time. So as we always do when we come to the end of practice, we do express gratitude for ourselves, for the idea that you showed up, for willingness to take this time for yourself, to be here at peace for this moment. So thank your mind and your body for what they offered you. And honor whatever stillness you are able to find. Honor whatever you learned from today's practice. And treasure your spirit for its willingness to be in this realm with yourself. And we always do a small metta practice, which means loving kindness toward ourselves. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be safe and free from danger. May I be happy. May I be peaceful and at ease. And you can just put a hand on your heart if you choose. May I be well. May I be at peace. And may my heart be at ease. And when you hear the sound of the bells, just take your time before you return to the space that you're in, before you open your eyes, if your eyes have been closed. And just luxuriate in that moment of presence, of mindful presence. And know that you can access this anytime during your waking hours, just by being still and taking a mindful breath. Blessings. Thank you, my gratitude for being here, and namaste. And you might just wiggle a toe, wiggle a finger, turn your head from side to side, gently, slowly. Open your eyes, take a sip of water, and come back. And if anyone cares to share what they found, I'm certainly interested in hearing.
Janie?
Yes.
This is Shell. I want to comment that today my monkey mind wasn't jumping around as much as it was the last time. And it was like I was much calmer and my mind, everything will be okay. And I can take these things and I don't have to be judgmental where my mind runs. So I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for making me aware of this, for having the knowledge that this is doable, it's possible, and that I can deal with my mind and I can talk to my mind and my mind can talk to me. So thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Shell. That's very astute and wonderful. I'm going to guess that it's a sense of relief
Yeah.
that we don't have to be ruled
Yeah.
by our thinking. Our
That's
thinking,
true.
it's just there. It's just like we said last week on the train. They're just discrete events that pass,
That's true.
and they in the moment, they're neither true or not true. They're just what they are.
But they seemed important.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's the mindfulness piece.
Yeah.
That's the education that we're trying to give ourselves.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Beautiful, Bob.
I, I this made me immensely peaceful, but I have an experience. I do some meditation with horses every once in a while, and about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was out at this horse farm, and the horses are just remarkable because they sense your they sense your energy and they engage with you. And there's a couple of horses that I've become friends with, and one one of them is Eddie, and Eddie's a big guy. And this meditation took me right back to being with Eddie,
Uh,
and my mind just it's such a wonderful feeling. And my thoughts there were no thoughts. There was just me and Eddie hanging out, and I actually felt the same sense of closeness with this horse, um, in a way that I've experienced there, but generally not when I'm not at the stables. Anyway, I just wanted to say that thank you for bringing Eddie to me today, and I'm going to see Eddie in 2 weeks. So,
That's great. That's so beautiful, Bob.
yeah, it's a wonderful sense.
Yes. You know, of course, I'm sure most of you know, that equine therapy
Yeah.
has become a very big deal. And because horses, other animals also, I think guide dogs,
Yes.
what do we call, service dogs, are
Yes.
also incredibly sensitive to the human energy, is what you're talking about. And that's just wonderful that you are able to call it up and feel its,
Yes. Yes.
yes, to
Was not
feel
it? Yeah, it was very natural. It came by itself. I did not.
beautiful.
Yeah. So thank you. It was delightful. It felt like it was back at the stable.
Wonderful.
So Bob, this is
Yeah.
mindfulness. This is the practice
Yeah.
actually, and you can do this for yourself
Sure.
anytime. But
Yeah.
but here's the caveat. It takes practice,
Yes. Yes.
and we have to, the reason that I practice every day, sometimes twice a day, is that is so that I can be a little bit more aware when I need to call myself back to presence. Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful. Of those of you that have your screens on, what I noticed about your faces was there was sort of a peacefulness. There was a quiet. I can see some of you, and it's just beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here,
Thank you.
all of you. So we'll see each other. Thank you, library, as always. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ursula.
Ursula.
It's
Oh, you're
wonderful.
welcome. Have a good day, everyone.
It's
Namaste.
Thank you.
namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste to everybody.